Hi guys, if you're watching this, you probably purchased a kit from us that does Christmas mugs for our holiday set. And your mug should have came with a squeegee, some ink, and a paintbrush. And you'll probably need some scissors and some tape, any kind of tape, and something to clean up a mess. So either a bowl of water or some wipes. So your kit probably came with a pre-cut stencil, or you purchased this and you're buying a bunch of cups from the dollar store. I'm going to cut mine out real quick so I can show you how to do one of these. This one says, God is within her, she shall not fail. I like that one. Okay. So obviously I did not do well in kindergarten because I don't cut well, but there we go. So you're going to take your coffee mug and you're going to find the spot that you want to put the side that you want to put your stencil on. Let's see, if you're drinking I drink my coffee with my left hand, so I'm going to put on this side. So when I'm drinking my coffee, people will read it. So these stencils can be used over and over again. You probably get 10 to 20 out of them if you take good care of them and wipe them out right away. You want to work with a ceramic ink. This ceramic ink that we use is a Maker Studio ceramic ink, and it dries really fast, so you kind of got to work quickly with it. You're going to place that down and then you're going to get all your bubbles out. And the best way to get the bubbles out is to take your squeegee and just run it down, and you'll hear the little bubbles popping, and that's a good thing. You don't want any bubbles in it. So once I've done that, then I take the edges and any place that I think that I might end up getting paint on, because I don't want it to go through. And the reason why you want to get this really tightly down is you don't want running. Although if you do get a little running, it can be cleaned up before you bake this. And the ink is no bake ink, but I always bake them, especially in the winter time. In the summertime, not necessarily. I can put it out in the sun and it'll get pretty well baked. But I have one that I didn't bake, and I run it through the dishwasher and used it a lot. And the ink is still on there really well, so it's kind of magic. So once you've taped yours down like so, I like to do the ends because I always seem to go past where I'm supposed to go. And any kind of tape, like I said, will work. You can use painter's tape, you can use Scotch tape, whatever kind of tape you have laying around. So this bottom part's going to be tricky because it's so close to the end. But I'm going to try to get as close as I can. Okay, there we go. So there's my taped up mug. There you go. Okay, so you put these little spreaders in your kits. So open up your ink and take your spreader and just put it in the spots that you're gonna start with. And if I was doing two colors, I would have taped off the other piece. Like if I was gonna make this a different color, I would have taped that off. Did this color first, pulled the tape off, and then did the second color. But I'm gonna do all one color, so I'm just gonna kind of get that in there. And the thing we discovered with the squeegee, I love the squeegee, and the squeegee works really well when you're working with fabric, but sometimes it makes the paint bleed through, especially because the ceramic is so silky. So what you kind of want to do is just press, and you want to cover every inch of this, pressing down. And you'll notice probably by the time you get to the end of this, your silk screen is going to feel kind of dry. So it's always good to have a couple of silk screens you're working with, especially if you're trying to do a bunch of mugs as gifts. That way you can rinse this one off and let it dry. And once you rinse them off, you want to rinse them off and let them dry on the plastic film that you pulled out off the back of it. And I didn't show you that, but you should notice a plastic film on the back when you take yours off. So your kits, you have enough ink probably to make 2 to 5 mugs. And I bought these mugs at the dollar store. They look exactly like the ones that you see at Target for $3. So they have a nice selection. So I would just run down to the dollar store, pick the ones you want. If you want to do different colors of ink, we have the ink at the shop. We have a very limited amount of ink, but you're welcome to come in and buy some ink. I'll show you the tubes after I'm done with this. But this should be like the fastest video because it's really kind of simple. And you want to pounce this in. You shouldn't see any white left when you're done with your screen. So if you look right there, there's some white. Can you see that? I want to make sure I cover all that. Okay, I think I've got it all. I'm going to go over it one more time with the color just pouncing from the bottom to the top. And you really don't want to brush stroke, because if you brush stroke, then you're more than likely going to get some running. And you can clean running up after it dries. You can kind of scratch it off before you put it in the oven. But if you can avoid any of the running ahead of time, even better. So, okay. So once you pull your silk screen off, you're going to heat your oven up to 275, and then you're going to turn your oven off. And I use my convection oven. You turn it off, and then you put your cup in there, or cups in there. Okay, I think this is good. We shall see. I think I got everything. Double check it. I already see it drying. You see it go from like a glossy to kind of a flat look. That's when you know it's like drying. So this stuff dries really fast, but you can soak it in water, a little soapy water if you want, and that will clean up your screen. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Me longer to tape it down than it did to actually do the silk screen. Alright, so when you pull it off, you're going to try to go in one direction. Okay, I see a mistake, but there's my finished mug. So I am going to heat this up at 275. Like I said, turn the oven on at 275. Once it heats to that, you're going to turn it off and pop your cup in there. I am going to heat it up, and then once I'm done, after it cools, I'm actually going to touch up that spot right there. So I'm going to put the silk screen back on top of there and just touch up the G. But I think it looks pretty good. There you go. Okay, so I have baked this guy, and I see some spots that I want to fix, but it's pretty hard. I could scratch at it now and it wouldn't come off, but I don't know if you can see that, where the God came out a little bit unfinished right there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it. You'll notice that after you dry it, there's a little texture to it. And if you ever look at a old-fashioned silk screen glass, like we have one that's, I think it's Bugs Bunny, you see those textures because they silk screen kind of the same way. Okay, so here we go. So this is the plastic part that you have to remove that I didn't show you earlier. So you want to take this plastic part off. And gently, don't like pull it too crazy because then it will stretch the screen out. And I have not let this completely dry, so I don't want it to scratch it out. So I'm going to line this up. Pretty easy to do. I can see the G is not on there well. And I'm not doing the rest of the cut because I think the rest of the cut came out pretty good. So I'm just lining up the G. And I'm not gonna really go crazy with the squeegeeing it down. I'm just making sure that it's down well on the G itself, because I don't want it to run. So it's down there. Brush. And I just want to touch this part up. So again, you're just going to pounce it on there. And if I wanted to touch the whole thing up, I would have lined it all up perfectly, but because I just wanted to touch up that little G, I want to get it on my, okay, so here we go. I'll remove it. And that G looks pretty good. So I see a little spot in here that I went over because I wasn't taking my time. So now I'm going to bake it again, and I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours after I bake it at 275. Then I'm going to wrap it up as a Christmas gift with some, I don't know, coffee and cookies and treats inside it and some cellophane, and it'll be cute. All right, so I think it's pretty easy little gift, and you can really personalize it.